Okay, so as you can see, I basically just cut the little name part off, a little bit of this side and a little bit of the bottom. And I made sure that I turned it into a flat because we're going to need some area to be able to work in, because these tiny little boxes, they got on my nerves last year. So first things first, with calculating interest, it starts at the top. It says Preston earns money by mowing lawns in his neighborhood. List some reasons that Preston might want to deposit his earnings into a savings account rather than keep it at home. So think to yourself, why would it be more beneficial to put your money into a bank account as opposed to just keeping loose leaf money? All right, definitely one might be that Preston's money could earn something called interest. Or in other words, interest is another word for additional money that you earn for keeping your money in a savings account. So basically a really good reason is if you just keep your money into that bank account, you keep that money, you really didn't do anything to earn that money. It just sat there and it made money itself. So you can basically make money by just sitting on your butt. Interest is earned regularly, such as annually, which another word means yearly, once a year. And then it's expressed as a rate or percentage. Okay, so you'll see that in a couple of examples. So simple interest is interest earned only on the, we're going to say principal, or the original amount of money deposited in the account. So your word principal doesn't mean like, Mr. Brown, Mr. Furman, Miss Davis. It means like your amount of money that you start by putting into the bank. So let's say I got $50 and I'm like, I'm not going to spend all my money on Taco Bell. I'm going to go ahead and put this $50 into a bank account. So that $50 is the money that I start with. So it's the principal. The interest, of course, is the amount of money that I earn off of that $50. So here we go. Here's our formula. I really just stands for interest, nice and simple. P, we already covered that, stands for principal. Or in other words, the starting amount, or you might see it more in here as what's called initial amount. That's the same thing as starting amount. Rate, which will be given to you in percent, but you're going to want to turn it into decimal. So I'm going to say percent into decimal. And then time. The T stands for time, and then that's usually always going to be in years, and if it's not, then you have to turn it into years. All right, so right here, here's some examples. So we're going to do those examples, and then we'll get to some other problems. So let's see. It says use a simple interest formula to find the amount of interest earned in problems 1 through 3. Then find the total value of the account, assuming no other deposits or withdrawals are made. So starting at number 1, it says a $600 deposit for 30 years at a simple interest rate of 2%. Okay, so they want us to find only the amount of interest that it earned. So in other words, that extra money that it earned. And then they want us to be able to find the whole amount that's in that whole account. So that's the money that it made, the simple interest, and then it's also going to be the deposit that you originally put in all together. All right, so flip to your little flappy section, and this is going to be where number 1's going to go. So they said that in number 1, we're going to make sure that we label which ones are P, which ones are R, which ones are T. So our principal is at $600. That rate, it says interest rate of 2%. There's our R. And then our T is 30 years. So we've got all of our little things that we need. So let's go ahead and put it into the formula. So important to always write the formula. I equals PRT. and we want to find our interest first. So our principal we said was $600. Our rate we said was 2%, but keep in mind, anytime they give us a rate in percent, we have to turn it into a decimal. They're going to originally give us it in percentage, but we got to always turn it into a decimal to work with it and multiply with it. So 2% really is just 0.02 whenever you turn it to a decimal. Because remember, anytime you got to turn something, a percent into a decimal, you got to move the decimal over 2 times. And then our time they said was 30 years. All right, so put that into your calculator and let me know what you get. So literally how you see it. All right. Hopefully you got, for the interest amount, the money that it made was $360. All right, so you can take that and write it right here. $360. And then the total value amount is going to be the interest that it made, which is this, plus your principal. So if I want to do that, then I'm going to take my interest plus principal equals total value. All right, so I'm going to take that interest, which is $360, plus the principal, which we said in here already was $600, and our total value is $960. So we found both of those problems. There you go. All right, then number 2. So number 2 says a $4,100 deposit for 72 months at a simple interest rate of 3.4%. So what is our principal here? 4,000. Our rate, 3.4. And our time, 72 months. But what do you think we're going to have to do before we wind up multiplying with that 72 months? We got to turn that into years. So how many years are in 72 months? You can answer that question by taking 72 and dividing it by 12, because there are 12 months in 1 year. Hopefully you get 6. All right, so whenever we go to convert this, we can actually do this right here. And just do. There we go. That way we kind of have a note of it. And then let's go to the other page. It's going to be number 2. Oops, I said number 12. I meant number 2. All right, so number 2 is going to say, of course, I equals PRT once again. And I am messing up. Don't judge me. Our principal, we said, was $4,100. Our rate, we said, was 3.4. But whenever we turn that into a decimal, it's going to be, what do you think? Think about it. 0.034. And our time is going to be, we turned that from months into years, and we said it was 6 years. So whenever we go to multiply that together, we get $836.40. Hopefully you got that. So there's our interest. All right, so now we're going to put that in right here. And then our total value, we're going to take, and I'm going to write small, and then our interest we said was $4,100 plus our principal. Oops, our interest is not $4,100, my bad. It's $836.40 plus our principal, which is $4,100, and we get $4,936.40 for that total value. There we go. So it's going to go right here. $4,936.40. Whew. All right, so do this one and we'll see what you get.